conflict between Pakistan and Afghanistan has deep historical roots, steeped in the complexities of regional politics, tribal affiliations, and foreign interventions. For decades, the two nations have found themselves embroiled in a tangled web of alliances and hostilities, impacting not just their own futures, but that of the wider South Asian region. The Durand Line, drawn in 1893 by British colonial rulers, remains a contentious border that divides ethnic Pashtun, leading to questions of national identity and allegiance. This artificial demarcation has fostered a sense of shared identity among tribes on both sides, complicating the political landscape. The rise of the Taliban in the late 1990s marked a significant turning point, as they established a regime that harbored extremist elements, including Al-Qaeda. The subsequent U.S. invasion in 2001 aimed to dismantle these terror networks, yet it also paved the way for a prolonged conflict that saw both nations grappling with the repercussions of warfare, insurgency, and state-building efforts. Afghanistan, as a landlocked nation, has historically relied on Pakistan for trade routes and access to the outside world. However, the relationship has been fraught with tension, as Pakistan's military establishment has often wielded influence over Afghan politics, supporting various factions to ensure its strategic interests in the region. This has resulted in accusations from Afghanistan of interference, fueling a cycle of mistrust and hostility. India, a significant player in South Asian geopolitics, finds itself entwined in this intricate conflict. As a neighboring state with its own historical grievances with Pakistan, India has taken a keen interest in Afghanistan, viewing the country as a counterbalance to Pakistani influence. India has invested heavily in Afghan reconstruction, with billions allocated to infrastructure, education, and healthcare, seeking to win the hearts and minds of the Afghan populace. This involvement has not come without challenges. Pakistan perceives India's presence in Afghanistan as a direct threat, leading to heightened tensions and proxy conflicts in the region. The recent withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan has left a power vacuum, igniting fears of a renewed Taliban resurgence and further destabilization. India, watching closely, has expressed concerns over regional security, particularly the potential for extremist groups to gain ground and threaten its own security. The situation is further complicated by China's increasing influence in the region, with the Belt and Road Initiative promising infrastructure development yet raising alarms in both India and the United States. As the Taliban assumed control of Kabul in August 2021, it became clear that the implications of this shift would resonate far beyond Afghan borders. For India, the prospect of a Taliban regime raises questions about its diplomatic and developmental investments in the country. The Afghan people, who have suffered through decades of war, are left facing uncertainty as the international community grapples with the implications of recognizing a government deeply rooted in a history of violence and repression. In this context, India's role is pivotal. New Delhi has sought to engage with the Taliban while simultaneously affirming its commitment to a peaceful and stable Afghanistan. Indian officials have voiced support for an inclusive government that represents the diverse ethnic and political landscape of the country, emphasizing the need for respect for human rights, particularly those of women and minorities. However, the delicate balance of diplomacy is fraught with complexities, as years of rivalry with Pakistan and the nuances of Afghan tribal politics create a challenging environment in which to navigate. As the dynamics of regional power continue to shift, India must carefully assess its strategies, balancing its historical ties with Afghanistan against the realities of a changing geopolitical landscape. The potential for a re-emerging threat from extremist groups poses significant challenges, not only for India and Afghanistan, but also for a broader coalition of nations invested in regional stability. Reinforcing its ties with key players, including the U.S. and other regional powers, India aims to create a united front against terrorism while advocating for dialogue and cooperation among Afghanistan's neighbors. The Afghan conflict has highlighted the necessity of a multifaceted approach to addressing security challenges. With the rise of cross-border terrorism, both Pakistan and Afghanistan must confront their internal dynamics, addressing grievances that fuel extremism. For India, the focus remains on building resilience in the face of potential instability. Collaborating with regional allies, India seeks to promote economic development and enhance security cooperation as a means to counterbalance the threat posed by militant organizations. The historical context of the Pakistan-Afghanistan conflict, paired with India's evolving role, is a complex narrative that demands nuanced understanding and strategic foresight. In conclusion, the intertwined destinies of Pakistan, Afghanistan, and India reflect the broader challenges of South Asian geopolitics. As these nations navigate their intricate relationships, the implications resonate well beyond their borders. The quest for stability, peace, and prosperity in Afghanistan remains deeply tied to the region's ability to confront historical grievances, foster trust, and collaboratively address shared security challenges. The path ahead is laden with uncertainty, yet the potential for cooperation exists amidst the backdrop of historical rivalries. The futures of these nations are inextricably linked, compelling all parties to seek avenues to transcend conflict and strive for a more harmonious